So the first question of the evaluation is, in what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? So following the conventions of any genre trailer is vital. It helps you construct your trailer, but also helps the audience understand the context of the film or documentary. Not following the conventions can lead to the audience becoming confused on what the film or documentary is about, and can potentially then move distract them from watching. It can move them away from watching the whole product if they don't understand the trailer completely. For me, I produce a music documentary, so following this style of convention was important rather than looking at film trailer conventions. So I looked at documentary trailers like Amy, Breaking a Monster, Marley, where I was able to gauge how to construct the trailer and how to use specific things. So like how to use the interviews correctly and how to use text to add information without actual footage. I feel through my trailer I follow the majority of the conventions. Firstly, sound. The use of the voiceovers is clear throughout, not just music, but all types of documentaries. It helps provide the context with what the subject is about, but can also help with the transition from shot to shot. Voiceovers were used within my trailer. This is seen when Jayo is talking about his versatility with the type of music he creates. We also see a mid shot of Jayo with the actual footage and sound when it cuts to particular parts of several music videos, showing different style pieces of music that is related visually.
Each track I've done is different, and a lot of people say I'm kind of versatile with the stuff I do. And it's just because I don't want to limit my music to just being in one box. I feel like now in 2017, for me to break through, a lot of people are saying you have to have that one hit track, which is in one genre. You have to be consistent within that one genre. Then they say when you break through, you can do whatever you want.
This helps the audience understand what he's talking about and have proof to believe in the words he's saying. But just as seeing but also seeing the different style of music videos and the settings and the environment of them, and expressing a different vibe in each of them as well. So you get to understand that he isn't essentially just pretending and lying in what he's saying, that you actually see the proof of this. It does cause audience to appreciate what he's doing, and that the risk he's essentially taking by not performing in one genre and essentially being able to cross over to certain genres and certain styles. We also saw the use of a voiceover early in the trailer with the besttickets.com stat appearing. So it fades in and it zooms in slowly, and midway through, the diegetic sound of the journalist talking to Eazy-E about the language of his lyrics. We hear that.
To be very honest, much of this I can't even say on television.
It forms a smooth transition and makes it comfortable to hear and see at the same time. So then it seems like it makes it much easier to listen to and much smoother, and not like the trailer's being put together by sections and that it's a whole continuous piece. Also within sound comes sound effects. I feel this was partly a challenge of the conventions, but also a development of the conventions. This is because sound effects from music videos I've watched aren't evident majorly. Normally, I would expect sound effects in general films, only because they're trying to bring a lot of intensity, action, and drama. But with me, I used a whoosh sound effect to introduce a documentary where my idol appeared. This was to capture the audience's attention instantly, so they have their eyes glued to the screen. I use that sound effect again well, no, I didn't use that sound effect, but I also used sound effects of a camera shutter noise, adding realism to the scene and creates an emotional pull where we see the broken glass, the broken mirror, and then the scratched surface as well.
And even still until now, kind of
1p changeable 49 PKA spread like marmalade. I'm the driver, you bought a jar today. It's hard to say that you were the Johnson me.
So yeah, I feel it worked really well because without the sound effects, it seemed it seemed empty and didn't catch me at all. But with the sound effects, it captures you, but it also adds the emotion, and essentially with this action shot, it adds the realism and acts as if you were there at that moment when the picture was taken. The sound, I had a sound effect at the end where the title came in, and it added a lot of intensity onto the ending and made it much more powerful than it just coming onto the screen. So yeah, I thought that was really good as well. The use of sound effects to this and Ident is generally seen. So yeah, in Ident, sound effects are normally heard, but they aren't really heard in trailers. So I feel that the challenging this convention was successful. Normally these they'll be constant in film trailers, as I said before, but mainly action or horror films, since they want to capture the audience's attention through loud noises and have them on edge. At the end of the Amy trailer, the title fades in with her music playing in the background. Where with mine I used a fast in effect, and as I said before, the swoosh effect as well. As I said, it adds intensity and power, reflecting Jo as a character that once he is thinking in his mind of music, he's ruthless and hard hitting. But also it shows a strong passion for music, and I feel that. But yeah, I think me challenging this convention worked really well because it made it would have made the audience engaged into the trailer, and it poured a lot of Jo.'s emotions into it as well. Also, it didn't change your view on the type of genre. It essentially helped add context and realism towards the trailer. So, for instance, the camera sound effects and with the flash showing the broken glass made you as audience feel that you were there. You were there as a photo was taken, and you start to feel Jo.'s anger, even though you don't know why the mirror is broken like that or the scratches are there on the surface. It entices you and wanting to know more about why it's like that. Moving on to music is a vital part of the conventions and enabling the audience to get more of an understanding of this subject, and I feel that I follow the conventions of this successfully. Music can also set the tone for the pace of the trailer and can relate to what the interviewees are saying. It was an obvious setup to use Jo.'s music since it was about him, and that's so the audience can hear what he sounds like if they haven't before, but also gives the audience an understanding of the energy he performs in his music. I noticed that within music documentary trailers that the music near the beginning is generally slow pace or at a steady pace, giving you the chance to feel your way into the trailer essentially, but also so you could hear what's being said, so you don't like misunderstand the context. I emulated this with the song Freestyle by Jo, which is at a steady pace that feels comfortable to listen to while hearing the interviews and the footage on screen.
I don't know who they are, I don't know who they be. They say they get paper, they couldn't handle page 3. Fake brothers on my radar, how can my man hate me? They wanna be my A&R, but they couldn't sell crack to a dope feed. I got Luna chilling in the back, rhymes on tick and the breaths on tack.
And then I chose a piano that was being played softly, and then the beat sped up a little bit, and the tone of it changed a bit, but it was still pretty slow and steady. And it was a deep and a sad moment that is being spoken upon, and which was seen in Breaking a Monster, where one of the group members was struggling with some of the vocals.
Wind up like Bieber, man.
The boys are constantly asking me, when are we recording?
Maybe Malcolm is not ready to sing vocals yet.
I know a lot of people doubt me, but then I really don't listen to those people.
Then so yeah, I wanted to sort of incorporate that into my training, having that. But just by the end of it, when it was coming up to the next segment of music, what they were talking about changed. So then they were talking about how he was. So Justin Oyeka said how he was ruthless. So yeah, that sort of led on to the next piece of music, which was his song Raw.
It's hard to say that you were the drugs for me. I rock with a better than guitar today. I'm so damn fresh, I don't need to spray. So damn fresh, I don't need to spray. One look at the brain, it's clear to see that I'm a G. They all wanna talk to me when I start rapping like.
Which is fast and has a lot of energy, emulating J.O. as a person. Well, because I saw the Amy trailer, and it didn't really have a lot of energetic music. But that's due to her style of music, where she doesn't have music essentially like J.O. in the way they produce it. So yeah, I wanted to make sure that mine wasn't like that. But yeah, I'd say that the way the music was constructed was really good, because it was really it helped you understand more about J.O. in a way, and yeah, I think it worked really well with the pace of the trailer as well, and how I wanted it to be. So yeah, I'd say that I followed I was successful with the conventions of the media product. The use of archive footage is essential part of conventions of a documentary trailer. It helps give the context on the subject and adds variation to the trailer. I used footage from J.O.'s music videos that I didn't film, and footage from footage from a radio station he was at, and then also when he was on stage when he was in the US after he won the competition. And then also I had footage from the news reporter talking to Eazy-E. But yeah, that was about profanity and in his lyrics, and why that it was so bad that she couldn't say them on TV.
To be very honest, much of this I can't even say on television.
Due to how vulgar they were. This supports the conventions of a documentary trailer, and I feel that it worked perfectly in presenting the issue of the use of profanity in music, but also showing J.O. and his work that he's done. With archive footage, the documentary trailer, they show different highlights in the subject's life. So, for instance, in Amy, they have footage of her at a young age and winning an award, and several other pieces of footage. But they also show the downside of her with footage from her issues with the paparazzi. Having variation in the archive footage provides a mix of emotions, and this is emulated in my trailer with the use of a long shot with J.O. dancing in one of his music videos in slow motion, while we hear J.O. talk about some issues. See, I felt that was nice, because it wasn't all a lot of it shows his variation, but then it shows a deeper side to him, and that he's not all about energy, and that he can change up his style depending on what it is. With the Amy and the Breaking a Monster trailer, I saw various archive moments of them through their careers. So I wanted to emulate this by showing Jo at the radio station and at live shows and his music videos as well. And so yeah, I felt that that was really good in showing that showing a build variation in that type of way. It helps assure the audience in that the production team have done deep research into the subject and that they found various parts about him as well that maybe the audience haven't seen before. All of this supports the conventions of a documentary trailer because it provides context on the subject and giving an insight into stuff that they haven't seen of that subject, and keeps the audience engaged because it essentially the audience will feel like that this archive footage is being shown directly to them and not to anyone else, giving it that personal feeling in a way. I feel that my use of the interviews within my trailer supported the conventions of a music documentary. I saw that the interviews weren't just about the high and successful moments, but also the negative and low points. So in Breaking a Monster, when one of the group members was suffering with hitting the correct notes vocally, knowing it can make or break them in their careers, but also the hard times they had to go through as well. So yeah, I looked at that and I tried to relate this within my trailer with Justin talking about J.O.'s past temper.
Thought, you know, I was in a different place to other people.
You know, saying how we felt, and even still until now, kind of searching for that place.
They would act like I was just there, and I felt like mentally I was up there.
Relentless.
It's rude.
It's the face of the UK.
His drive and determination, I think.
And how he's trying to channel it, and how J.O. and then when Jay was talking, where he feels that he's being undermined and not being recognised in the music industry in the capacity he thinks he should be at. These type of interviews get you engaged to know more about those thoughts and situations. Also, with the interviews, there's a need for specialists to give you, the audience, a professional perspective on the subject on hand. I did this through many roles. So Justin and Ivona Yeka are former journalists, so they have more of, I guess, an analytical perspective on it all, which is really good to see because they will go quite in depth in detail. And then you saw how Ivona Yeka had her point of view on the use of profanity, where she felt that what was it saying about you as a person. So then there is that more of a personal touch in there.
I wanted him to be able to express himself.
I think it's commendable, it's notable. I admire him for not kind of like using it so casually.
If you've got feelings, express them, but profanity doesn't do that.
And then Mr. Sanders is a young rapper and producer who's worked with J.O.'s countless amount of times, so you get more of a view on someone who's within the actual industry that J.O. is in as well. And finally Spider, who's an artist tutor, so he helps artists with their productions and helps them get through stuff as well and advises them. So I feel that I had a good mixture and a good variation in the type of specialists I had who also knew him personally, so you were able to get the personal side but then the career side as well. Through this we gained their personal experiences with J.O., but we also heard their thoughts and language about J.O.'s music and the use of profanity. We hear Mr. Sanders talk how when they first met and they automatically connected and they were able to go back to back with rapping. So yeah, I knew it was important to make sure that I got a lot of mixture in. And when I was watching, I felt that I was able to sort of gain that through the Marley trailer, where they had, you could tell that they weren't close to him because of what they were talking about, but there was several people who were talking about his music, and they were professional. Well, they were not within the industry, but were around it in a way. So that did definitely help me understand that people like that needed to be included. So I wanted to have the mixture of personal and industry people within my trailer. But I felt that I was able to, I felt that it worked pretty well. But yeah, the predominant amount of people in my trailer was within the industry and didn't know him personally as well, apart from Lewis Beckford, who is just a close friend who does make music but not as a career, so his knowledge is more as a citizen journalist in a way, since he's not fully in the career because it's not his exact pathway he wants to go down involving music, but he does have an interest in it. So it's not his main priority. So we don't exactly hear that side of him, but we do get a lot of the personal touch towards it. I feel that my use of typography and the words chosen support the conventions of a music documentary trailer. I took heavy influence from the Amy documentary. The text you used provided a strong presence on the page, capturing the audience through the use of white and red text. I borrowed that idea of the red and white text. I wanted to use the red text to show J.O.'s passion, desire, and love for music, and for following through with no use of profanity in his music. The key words are in red, capturing the audience, so you see the key information. So then, obviously, you look straight towards that. You understand pretty well then what the rest says altogether. Looking generally at the text, I knew that I needed to provide context and replacement of footage. So it's another way for the audience to consume my trailer, and it adds variation. And I was able to do this by adding the stat about profanity using music from the besttickets.com website, and then saying that Joe doesn't use profanity, and then when he started rapping as well, and it does help with the voiceovers as well. They help sync it, and it adds essentially more context as well. With when the text about J.O. When he started, I had J.O. immediately start talking about when he started and when he was recording with his friends, with their Blackberries at school. So that link does really help in then giving the audience more knowledge about that instead of just having when J.O. started, and then you then get the backup of information. What I've gauged from documentaries is that you don't try and set up what they say. You provide the questions, and they suggest some things to get their mind ticking, but you don't force them into an answer. Otherwise, it won't be natural. And I've chosen this path by going through the questions quickly with them before the camera's even rolling, so they aren't surprised by any questions and have time to think about the answer before the actual interview starts. I also give them a slight suggestion if they aren't exactly sure what to think of, what they can think of, and it may spark their mind into thinking about something. By not setting up answers, it has a natural and authentic feel to it, meaning that they may add more information because they have the opportunity to speak freely and not feel forced into saying something, which I didn't want, because I wanted them to be truthful about what they were saying about J.O.